Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at FreshBooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Once again, it is the end of the week, and it is time for Tech News Weekly. I'm Andrew Zarian, joined by the one, the only, the not-so-red today, Tom Rax. How you doing? Say that again.
Hello, hello.
There you go. I had you leveled down for the intro. I'm all plussed out this week. I am all plussed out. Everything is a plus.
Nice.
Yeah, because of the great Google Plus that got released a couple days ago. It's actually not released officially. It's still in beta. And it's invite only whenever they decide to open up the invitation. They've opened the invites, they've closed the invites, they've opened the invites, they've closed the invites. I've sent out about 50 invites, and nobody's gotten it. Unless I'm doing something wrong. Something's going on there.
So literally no one has got it?
Nobody that I know. It's a very select group of people so far that have it, from what I know.
Well, the one, as far as you said you sent out invites, I know I didn't get mine from you, but so.
No, nobody that I've sent it to has received it.
Yeah.
And so right now, the only person that I'm friends with that has it is Adrian Curry.
Oh, good.
So I'm following Adrian Curry, and there's a nude picture of her. So that is the only thing that I see on my Google Plus stream. And I'm looking. So it's interesting how it works, and I was planning on pulling it up on the video, but I cannot because my Mac decided that it's going to change the port that it used from a previous model. So I have to actually change that as well, and my phone is beeping too. From many of you have seen the images and what it looks like. There's two ways to look at this. There's one way to look at it where it's your stream, which looks very much like Facebook. It's a very Facebook-esque type environment, which is great. It's nice and clean. The other one is your circle, and when you go to add people to your circle, and it's a little bit confusing. So what you do is, let's say Tom is on. You could have different circles for different things. So you have family, acquaintances, people you're following that you don't want, you just want to follow, and then you could create your own, like GFQ or Tom's, family. When you're sending out a message or a status update, you select who you want to see this message. So if you want only your family members to see this message, your family members only see it. Or if you want everybody to see it, you could decide you want everybody to see it. But it's a very not confusing, but I find it, it's different. It's much different than what anybody else is doing, but it still is very Facebook-esque. I don't know if this is going to be the end-all, be-all thing. That's what I'm trying to figure out, if this is going to be the thing that everybody goes to. Now, for the people who have it, know what I mean. But I don't know, Tom. You've read it, but you have not experienced it yet. I was hoping they would have allowed you to join from the invite, but they haven't. What do you think of this?
But I've actually seen it demoed, like live video demo. So I've seen what it does, and you use the word circles. I even made notes from the demo I watched, and that's what they call it literally. It's not just a guess at it, but they call it circles, and which reminds me of the Microsoft Hub, architecture where they have, hubs connected by whatever relationships. So they have the circles, and so a circle can be, a family. It could be the Zarian Flushing division, and it could be, the Midwest division, or, a circle can be whatever you want.
It, yeah.
Group.
Like I'm looking here, people that are suggested to me that have this. You know, all the big names have it. Really, I don't see anybody that I know currently on my friends list that has the service. I got it because I know certain very important people, and that makes me very important in the sense of Google Plus.
Very.
But it's just fascinating how they're deploying this. It's absolutely useless to me if I'm not following anybody or if nobody's following me. But this is a much better attempt at it than what Buzz was.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, we'll stick on this circles thing, but it's very large. There's a lot of facets to this. But for now, talking about the circles, do you know, with your vast experience with this thus far, the circles, when I looked at the demo, I saw circles and I saw, it's somebody's personal family was a circle. So if I gave you access to a circle, do you then have access to that entire, if it's my personal family, do you then have access to that whole family? Have I given you unlocked the privacy? Have I given you full, view of all that? Do you know?
I don't know if they could
sense?
see. No, I don't think they could see the circle. I think what it says, like, let me see who's somebody. I'm in somebody's circle. I don't know who.
Because it was showing it as, you can see this circle, and it just, this beautiful, kind of flowcharty thing.
Let me see.
But
so yes,
how
I could
everybody's webbed.
I could see. So there's somebody here that I'm in with, and I could see his circle. I could see his circle, so I could see people in his circle. Let me see one of the bigger guys. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know. It's. I guess I cannot. Yes, I can view their circles, so I could see. If I'm in a circle, somebody could see how many people's circle I'm in. If I have circles, you can see how many circles I don't know. It's very confusing. Let me say that again.
Well, let's use
So you could see my circles, and you could see the circles I'm in.
Let's like your example.
People I'm following and followers.
Like Adrian Curry. Can you see her? Personal. Her
No,
circles?
I guess you could turn it on and off. I can't specifically see like this is family, this is acquaintances, this is whatever. I could just see people that she's with.
So I wonder about that as far as the convenience of doing that. Let's say GFQ is a circle, and we want to associate a partner, Paul Thurrott. We want to let Paul in there, but access to a circle, and maybe he doesn't need to see everybody in the circle. Heaven knows we don't want to link Paul up with Coco.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not too sure when it comes to that. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
So do we have to, would you have to micromanage to that level? Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to give you access to this circle, but I just don't want this person seeing that. I don't want that person seeing this.
I guess you can, but I don't think you could see what's happening in the circle if you're not part of it.
Because that, in Facebook anyway, that's that whole privacy thing. And the biggest thing with that is like photos. So you set your photos to friends only or everyone, if you want to be whatever. But so mine are pretty locked down for privacy. But I can allow certain people, a la carte, more or less specifically, to access photos. So when I saw that circle thing, and in theory it seems great, but then I wondered how much you'd have to, really like micro it, to manage and, allow and deny.
I'm not too sure, and I know they're changing it big time. They're doing some more changes to it, but
yeah. In general, the whole Google Plus thing, for anybody who hasn't had a look at it, there's all kinds of screenshots out there. It's very Facebook-like. It literally the main page that I saw is you have like pictures of whoever's making a comment or posting, and then you don't have a like button, but you have a plus button instead. It's the symbol plus.
But here's the other thing. Now we could do live streaming for people in a certain circle. We could all, video chat with each other.
Yeah, there's all kinds of
very interesting part. You know what this is? This is in my opinion, I think this is what Google Buzz and Google Wave should have been. I think they kind of jumped the
Buzz
gun with it.
definitely. Wave, maybe less. So Wave was just a mess.
I think Wave's concept was great for, like there's huddles. So a huddle is a group chat, and that's what it's going after, these group chat services. So if you're on the service, if I can start a huddle for GFQ, where everybody from GFQ will get this, text message from me. And I could communicate with everybody. If I bring you in the huddle afterwards, you won't see what happened previously. You'll just see what's happening now. But I could start a huddle right now. I could do it from my phone because there's that app also. So I could, invite people to my huddle, and it's a super, it's like a super text messaging group, which is another aspect of it.
So that would be, is that a subset? The huddle, is that a subset off your main page?
Yeah. So there's a huddle. Yeah, like I could create a huddle if I wanted.
Kind of a sidebar conversation that doesn't have to take up the whole.
It's weird.
Because those can get lengthy, like on Facebook. You got 1 million people commenting, I went got my hair cut today, and then,
Yeah, like I could start a Hangout. I have it installed. I need to install the plugin for the Hangout, but I could install the plugin for the Hangout. Let's install this. So I can install the plugin for the Hangout, and Hangout is the video chat service. So I think you could have, quite a few people, and it's intelligent enough to know who's speaking, and it kind of switches the video automatically to them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a very interesting idea.
Difficult to code, but yeah, this is a lot more interactive than Facebook currently is, which is another subject we have coming up. But because they do have, it's very Facebook-esque, which is good in that the learning curve will be short. People will adapt to it really fast. And it does have the voice chat enabled, the video.
I don't know though. I'm playing around with it, and the thing that makes Facebook so good is the fact that everybody's on there, and nobody's on this.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's the way Wave was. You have to give them a good incentive to move to it too, because Facebook is so entrenched and well done. And
but you know what it is? There's a lot of people out there that hate Facebook for whatever reason. Remember that whole privacy issue happened, and a lot of people jumped and they started saying how they hate Facebook and Facebook is horrible and Facebook they're dropping Facebook, and they were looking for another service, and
like Friendster, everybody was trying whatever. Else was,
and none of them really picked up. Okay, so I'm starting a Hangout now. Let's see. I have no friends, but it actually sees my video, it sees my mic. And it's I could add people to hang out with now, even though I have nobody there. So I could pretty much start a video chat with people. It's actually a very good idea. I just don't know if it's going to work the way people want it to work, because you need millions of people on the service.
Now, I don't know. This may not have been familiar to you like it was to me, but what you see is extremely close to what DimDim is / was. DimDim's kind of changed hands now. But DimDim is very much what you're looking at now, which was also in itself very much like, not GoToMyPC so much, but it's one of those types of things with interaction, webinar type stuff where you could have that interactivity. So what the footage I saw, it's like, wow, that's DimDim. And that's a compliment. That's a good thing, because DimDim looked really nice and worked really well in that. So if Plus can do that as well as DimDim, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there are a lot of aspects to this that we don't know yet. But listen, I think this is their best attempt at having a serious Facebook competitor. There really isn't a Facebook competitor. MySpace is not competing with Facebook anymore.
No,
I don't think they ever competed, because from the beginning there were two separate, type of services. But this is a very Facebook-esque system, and the advantage they have is the fact that they could, catalog this in their browser, in their search. This can be incorporated in search, and Facebook cannot do that because they don't have a search engine.
Yeah, exactly. It's the power of that, that whole ecosystem they've got, and would be if anybody else, Yahoo's tried all kinds of similar things and failed. I can't remember the name. It's not Messenger, but they had something, probably still have it, but something that tried to be Facebookish. First, they tried to do MySpace, and then Facebook caught on so fast, and they tried to make it more like Facebook. But they've been trying for a while, and it hasn't worked well. But in theory, they had the search engine, they have Mail, like Google
Yeah.
has Mail, so they had a shot at it and kind of blew it. But
So one thing
Google,
that
much better.
people have seen, and people are actually complaining about, is the fact that they have this service for your Droid or for whatever. Let's say for your Droid, right? If I take a picture, if I could set the service to automatically upload my images to my stream on mine, and I don't know if it was like this for everybody, but listen, I'm 90% sure this is what it was like. It was checked on. There are going to be many people out there that click this on and start taking pictures, and they have no idea that this is feeding into whatever stream that they have. It might turn into an inappropriate thing, and once it's on the web, it's on the web, and there's nothing that could really do.
Yeah. Once it's out there, you can't. There's no takebacks. We were talking about that.
I don't know, and we're talking about privacy and people, photos from your phone. I'm looking at photos from my phone. I don't have it enabled, so I'm not uploading anything. But there are a lot of people that are going to be uploading images from their phone, and they have no idea because they turned this on once and they never looked back.
And again, exactly the way that it's a bad example, but the Windows Phone 7, but even before that, with the Kin and Kin 2, with the hubs, as soon as you took a photo and you dragged it to the hub in that system, it went up. It went to Facebook or wherever you designate it, but 99% of the time it was to Facebook. So as soon as you took the picture, it automatically did it. You didn't have to tell it to once you set it up initially. But if you said, if I take a picture, put it in the hub, and in Google's case, it'll be the circle. It goes up there and it's done. No takebacks. Of course, you can delete it later, but once it's in the cloud, it's in the cloud. So it's very similar to the way that worked.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
again,
I've let me see. I'm gonna try to send you another invite. Okay, it says I have 347 invites. Tom, nope. It says that I've already sent you an invite. So there's something funky, and I know it's not turned on, but according to this, you've had your invite sent.
Yeah, and I just refreshed.
And I sent it yesterday as soon as I got it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, because we were gonna do what the tech, we were gonna talk about this, but you didn't have it at that point, and then right when we would have gone live, poof, you got it.
I got it.
So,
Yeah.
good timing. But
let's see.
yeah, there's a lot to it. Again, right down to silly stuff, but a lot of people like animated icons like smileys, blinky smileys, which is a Yahoo thing that just serves no purpose, but people like that. So if you do, again, DimDim had some of that functionality too, which was just.
But
for
DimDim
fun.
didn't have a social aspect to it, right? They just had a
Yeah,
street
DimDim
video
was
thing.
pretty business oriented. You could use it that way, but it would have been a waste. Dim was free, which was good, as is this. But it was really business oriented, and you got a lot for that. It was not watered down at all. It wasn't poorly done. But this is not intended to be like DimDim, because DimDim was a business tool, and this is a fun tool like Facebook. So
Well,
it looks neat. I was hoping to.
Since we're
see
talking
it.
about Facebook, let's go into that. Facebook is holding an event next week, and the announcement is going to be huge. And I'm quoting. Huge.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Huge announcement.
Huge.
What could it be? Now, reports coming out of the company are saying that they've been planning something big. The much-awaited iPad app, a new mobile photo app. We know it won't be Project Spartan, the HTML5-based app platform that Facebook has been working on with a small group outside of developers in secret. MG Siegler from TechCrunch wrote yesterday that Seattle Facebook office houses teams in deep ties with mobile, so I think it's going to be a mobile thing. They, surprising, they don't have an iPad app, and this is mind blowing that this company doesn't have an iPad app. You could use either the web-based service, or what I do, I've downloaded a third-party Facebook app that I use for my Facebook.
For anybody who doesn't comprehend that, because I didn't know that they didn't. I just assumed they did because even heck, the Palm Pre does, and Palm Pre pretty much appless, you know. But there was no Facebook specific app, so you would have to go to www.facebook.com for on your iPad to get there, and that's very slow, clunky, a lot of overhead, doesn't load well, even on a well engineered thing like the iPad. But they didn't have it, so.
So I mean, I use a third party and it works great and the interface is nice, but it would be better, I think most people would want to download the official Facebook app for the iPad. But is that a huge announcement that they're releasing a Facebook app? I don't think that's going to be it. There's been other rumors that they're going to have a video chat service, something similar to what Google is doing, even Facebook type currency. That were some of the rumors. Now I don't know how strong those rumors
Zuckerberg
are.
Says huge, then I'm, everybody's initial response, including me, would be, they're going to have Skype type stuff, or some kind of a multimedia interactivity, because they've already got all the basic things I can think of.
Yeah,
and
Skype and Skype does have a relationship with Facebook, and I think many people know that if you downloaded the latest version of Skype, you see that there is Facebook integration. You just can't do video calling within Facebook.
Yeah.
I think Facebook will probably implement that somewhere down the line because Facebook and Microsoft are buddy-buddy. They have a very good relationship.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you where their relationship is with Google. And this doesn't, and they probably were onto something early on, and they probably knew that Google was working on this because in Gingerbread, they have stopped support for Android contacts. So it doesn't sync up properly with your contacts list like it used to. I have Gingerbread on my Droid. I unlocked it, and I ROM'd it, and I did all that stuff. So I have Gingerbread on here. I have 2.3. And my Facebook, my contacts do not sync properly with my Facebook list. And after reading yesterday what was going on, they said Gingerbread is not supported by Facebook. They've ended that relationship. So it's obvious that there's something going on there. And, most probably Google's now saying, well, no, we're going to link it up with Google+. You don't need Facebook.
Yeah.
Why do you need
Why
that?
would you?
But, I mean, Microsoft and Facebook have a very strong relationship at this point. Which is interesting.
Yeah, and of course
Microsoft
has the whole Skype thing, and so it's going to be that's going to be big versus Google. Google's a giant right now, and but Microsoft plus Skype plus Facebook.
It's interesting when these rumors start coming out, Tom, how people get worked up. I mean, I've even seen people saying, "Oh, it's the Facebook phone, the Facebook tablet."
Yeah,
and I keep thinking, why? Why would they want to do this?
That's one of the first things I read was Facebook.
Guess what, Tom? Every phone and tablet is a Facebook tablet.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing. Everybody's going on there. There's no, Facebook puts out one solid product. Why would they want the embarrassment or the headache of a failure?
Yeah, and Zuckerberg's a software guy. He's never ever been hardware. So I don't think he wants to start now, and there's no reason to. Like you said, he's Facebook is everywhere, and you don't have to. With no Facebook app for the iPad, no problem. Somebody creates, what you've used, workarounds, third-party versions.
Yeah.
He just has a product, and everybody will, do his bidding to make it work. So he doesn't need hardware. He doesn't need to create a phone, and that would be silly. I can't imagine that. But that was one of the first things I read, because when Mark Zuckerberg says it's going to be huge,
I don't know. Let's see.
Having
what
an
it
app
is.
isn't huge to me, but maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
yes. To him. Since we were on the Microsoft Facebook relationship, I got my hands and I was able to play around with the new Mango, Windows Phone 7.5. I may or may not have a friend that knows something about this that I may or may not have had drinks with on Monday, and I got to see this thing and I played around with it. I have to tell you, Tom. When Windows Phone said that they were coming out, I was excited because I had a Windows Mobile 6 device at the time. Oh no, well before that, and then I went to Android, but I was still a fan of the Windows on a phone. I really liked it, and I backed off, and I said, well, there isn't too much app support, and the development is kind of slow for this, and it hasn't been implemented that well, and it took time. I played around with the latest beta that's out, and actually developers just got their hands on that this week.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Microsoft developer, what is it, MSDN, the Developers Network that you got to pay for? I think it's like $100.
Yeah, or you can work around that sidebar.
Yeah.
If you buy the development studio, they kind of give you a free pass.
Yeah. If you have that, you could download the latest version onto your phone. I don't know the details, but you can. I played around with this thing. I have to tell you, Tom, I really liked it.
Such a fanboy.
I really liked it. And again, I'm going to get the emails. Well, I thought you liked Android, and I thought you liked the iPhone, and how come? What happened? What happened? I thought you were getting an iPhone. No, listen, if I like something, I'm going to get that. I really liked it. It was really cool to see how you don't need those giant icons everywhere, and it's this up and down, left and right type feature. But you know what the coolest part was? Everything is implemented in the OS. Facebook has its own app, but it's built into the phone, and so I think Twitter on the final release will be built in as well. So when you go to my contacts list, so let's say I make an update, it shows my contacts on your phone. So you let's say you click on Andrew or you click on Tom, and this is the demo that my friend did, our friend, possibly lover, I don't know.
The person.
I've heard rumors. He showed a picture of me, and it's me, and it's my last Facebook update, and it's my last Twitter update, and it's my phone number, address, and where I've been if I've checked in somewhere. And it was really cool to see that built into the OS, opposed to opening up the standard Facebook dialogue and in the Facebook application. And it was super fast. So he's like, okay, look, you just said that you're gonna try to drink me under the table. Okay, I could reply to this in the app, in the environment of Windows Phone.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. And I'm thinking, I want to get my hands on one, so I might, we have an AT&T contract, so I might get one through AT&T just to have.
Yeah, and I hope people appreciate and wrap their heads around what you're describing, because can't emphasize enough that it's not, like you said, it's not something you added to it and something you have to activate, wait for it to load, and put everything in its place. And again,
we always
type into it.
We always have this discussion: revolutionary opposed, evolutionary.
Yeah,
I do think that this is a revolutionary OS. I think it's a very different approach to the way that we are used to working on a phone. I mean, even dating back to the Palm OS, it was just icons, and you clicked on an icon. We're talking 15 years ago, 20 years ago. When did the handspring units come out? Mid-90s?
Yeah.
Almost 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, we're used to just clicking on an icon, clicking on a little square box. Microsoft did something totally different. So I got a chance to play around with it, and I was actually very impressed by the latest version of what they're doing. And I was telling Tom, I'm like, get an Android phone, get a Windows phone.
Yeah,
that is my official stance on this.
And I will, give credit back to like Google Chrome as far as an OS, because that's allegedly, but they've been trying to engineer for a couple of years now. It's dragging on forever, but their theory is to have everything seamless like that,
seamless into one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Android on the other side of the thing, I had Froyo on this thing, so I installed Gingerbread, and the thing is super fast, and I really like it now. And I was hating the phone until I overclocked it and changed the operating system. So
yeah, that was quite a struggle, but that was a little irregular what you had to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they're all decent at this point. I think the iPhone still is the most mature because it's been around a little longer than the rest of them, but they're all decent OSs, even down to Palm. And the Palm OS Web OS is decent too.
Yeah, in fact, I won't start that as a whole topic, but I was prepping the news, and I looked at a headline from a white paper I got. I don't think it was ZDNet, but it was one of those guys. And the headline at the top of it was, why the HP touchpad is the best iPad alternative. And
What was
and then
the
it went
reason?
on to kind of trash it. The main thing is that it comes down to WebOS being so snappy and well designed that finally they get it into a tablet and it works like it should on a tablet.
Yeah.
And the cards, which is the way it manipulates the items, the apps, are done with cards, is what they call it. But it's always has been, but it's very snappy and it's ported really well to the touchpad as it should. And but people are really impressed by it. And then they get to the app depth and that kind of thing, and then they're crestfallen. It's like, well, it's works great, but there's nothing to put on it. And criticism as far as it not having a rear-facing camera, that kind of thing. But other than that, it's kind of a bold headline to say, why this is the best tablet out there. And I was like, wow, that's pretty big to say. So
Well, I want to take this minute, Tom. I want to take this minute and thank our sponsor, Hover.com. Domain names made simple. The contest is over. Hover is doing the final count, and the drawing will be announced early next week for the contest that we ran on network. But you can still buy your domains at Hover. If you go to gfq.hover.com, you get 10% off your entire purchase. A .com domain is only $15. Now you're gonna turn around and say, "Well, I saw an ad with those other guys for $11." Okay, fine. You could buy it, but you're going to end up getting private registration, which is going to cost you another $10, $11. They're going to tack this on it. They're going to tack that on it. You're going to finish with $32. This is my average sale with those other guys. $32. With Hover, under $15 when you use the promo code GFQ. They on top of all that, you're not going to get the upsell. You're not going to get the barrage of emails that, oh, yeah, your domain is expiring in 6 months. Your domain is expiring in 5.5 months. Your domain is expiring in 5 months. You're not going to get those phone calls.
Don't you want this?
Don't you want this?
Yeah.
What happened? How come? Why don't you try our new service? Why don't you try this service?
Ugh.
That's not going to exist. There's no hold time when you call them, so somebody will pick up the phone, and they are there for you. If you go to hover.com and you buy a domain. I absolutely love those guys. That's gfq.hover.com. You get 10% off your entire purchase at hover.com. Thank you. This is your thing. You're the big Office 365 guy. You've been telling me about this for weeks. It's out. You made this product, Tom. You should be very proud.
It. Yeah. Well, they like Hover, they listen and
they
respond.
Yeah. So Office 365, this is a direct Google Apps competitor. What do you think of it, Tom? Give me your opinion.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of misinformation about it, and then there's a lot of for better or for worse. So
can I ask you a couple of the misinformation, the questions that people have? This is not just for enterprise, right? This is for the average user as well. If you like the app look, if you're in that environment and you want it on the go, you can buy this. This isn't just for companies, right?
Yep. And just to rip off a couple of lines here, one of the things, because it's the number one as far as FAQ, is what's the difference between 365 and Google Apps? But the little asterisk there is for business. But they're saying the 365 main advantage over apps is the huge existing installed user base of Office products. So it's kind of already got a 20 plus year root environment going back to Office, whatever, back on floppies. So whereas Google Apps, through no fault of their own, is relatively newer to the industry, to that particular realm. It is user friendly as far as single user, but what I was reading more on today, it's been in beta for a while. You can get it right now.
Yeah, I think it was in beta for quite some time.
Yeah, and it still is, and I think it's going to remain in beta until October, as far as you're being able to get it like right now and use it. So I think October will be its shut off. Last I heard, I think it was like yesterday. But So there's a lot of tiers to it. The Microsoft guys said, and this, part of the event you went to, some of those guys said on Tuesday, it's from 2 to 10 users or tens of thousands. So it can be scaled to whatever your needs is. And there's tons to it, I'm hesitant to go down any road too deeply, but I'll give you an example that you and I struggled with last year, trying to share something as simple as show notes for our shows, What the Tech or whatever.
Yeah.
I could author them in Word 2007, put them up into our shared desktop space up in the cloud for, I think it was for Mesh or Live, whatever. But then you personally had to have Office as well.
I did.
And
yeah.
You didn't have it for the Mac at the time. So that was a problem. That's a big
I could view it, but I couldn't edit.
Yeah, exactly. So you couldn't add to the notes and so it was pretty worthless.
And I'm not a fan of Google Docs. I'm not. I don't like Google Docs. I love Gmail, but I don't like Google Docs.
It's really, to a power user for Office stuff, Google Docs, I can't stand it. But I mean, even people like Mr. Thurrott, he uses Google Docs on occasion. But for really deep stuff, if you need interactivity with Excel and other standards that everybody uses in the world, it's handy to be already in the Microsoft thing. So it's a phenomenal suite. It's only $6 a month for pretty, I'll say small business, but the small business is pretty darn big. So there's not really a limitation with how small. It's when you want additional services that it gets higher. But what I looked at, I can't imagine exceeding that need for $6 a month. Mm-hmm. Right now, beta testing is free. Now, in tandem with that, we have in our notes Google's thing on it, which I want to segue into it just for a second. And this is where it gets tricky as far as is it for personal or business use? Because Google Apps product manager, his name is Sean Sinha.
Mm-hmm.
So he's arguing why Google Docs is better
because it's free.
Well, he's saying, among other things, Office 365 is for individuals. This is
this is ridiculous. Now then, this is a
while
backwards.
Google Apps is for teams.
Yeah. See. Okay.
So
what they're doing, and I'll tell you what this is. Google Apps allows you to have up to 25 personnel for free. And Google Apps is their corporate type support, right? If I have Andrew at GFQnetwork.com and I have an entire staff with that type of thing, we use Google Docs, and I could use it for myself too with Google Apps. I could have my email just on there, and that's where I access my email from, which is great. But I kind of feel I like the Outlook environment. I've been using Outlook for years, but with Outlook, it's about, I think, $6 a month or $5 a month. That's where the issue is. So a lot of people are still saying, well, Google's still better because it's free. Well, it's not Outlook.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Doesn't have the, So some of the deeper stuff I wanted to, because that's the big thing, is it business or is it personal? It's either. You don't, two people. It's not like you'll be. You don't have to qualify to use it to be a business for two people to use it. But one of the biggest things about it, what makes 365 unique is, in its name alone, 365 it's all encompassing. It's a giant ecosystem that all feeds back to itself. And then up in the cloud, which is what all this is. This is not buying something off the shelf like I have my Office 2007 here. You don't have to buy this. It's all cloud. And you can do everything in real time on the cloud, which takes us back to our failure last year with trying to share documents. This eliminates all that. So our entire GFQ staff can share documents, events, anything online. It has full video conferencing, just talk if you just want voice. It has all these features. What we just talked about with Google Plus. It's all built into it, so we can I can put a document up there. Jess, the new CEO of GFQ, can put up a document there, and
Everybody accesses.
exactly. Yeah. And she's the white and black GFQ, and you're the orange and black.
I'm orange
So
and black. Yeah.
she can put a document. She can put a document.
But
up,
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tom. Is Enterprise will probably implement this because a lot of people have gone to the web. A lot of people, even the company I worked for, even though we had Outlook and we were using Outlook, we still had people that were accessing certain things on the web, on the cloud, for enterprise support.
Right.
I think Enterprise will, use this service, but I do not think the everyday person is going to go and pay $6 a month for email so they could have Outlook on the web. I don't think it's going to be successful in that sense, but that's not their target.
Right.
And they've said it's
still,
not their target.
I
will because I'm a power email user, but I don't know how, and this is the thing. I think if you have Outlook, are they going to give this away if you have Outlook? So if you spend the $400 and you get Outlook, you're not going to get this?
So much bigger than that. Yeah, no, that's what I was going to lead to. It's less than $80 for an entire year. It's $6 a month. So it's well under 80, and Office is extremely expensive. The version I held up doesn't even have Outlook in it. And, that's like $120.
Well, that's where the money is, right? It's for Outlook. We buy. I have off whatever it was, Office 2010. I ended up getting the student version for Jess, but you get the big discount. But if you're buying it for a company, you're going to end up spending about $499 for Office.
Yeah, and that
I would have
publisher and all the tools that you need for a business. So this has the mail in it is extremely similar. I'm trying not to use the word identical, but if you use Live Mail, which I use, it's pretty much identical to Live Mail. And that's a good thing because it works well. It's very slim. It's kind of like Outlook Express, except not crappy. Outlook Express was kind of crappy, but it was lightweight. Outlook's intimidating to a lot of people because there's a lot of buttons and it's kind of bloated, but it just works really well in a business environment. So the mail looks like that, but then it's got that incorporation with Calendar, which Outlook has.
And it also has Word and Excel on it?
Yeah. So you can access that all cloud-based. And again, back to where I was going with the editing. And let's say Jess put something up there and she needed us all to go in there and do an agreements on something. We can all edit it right there live in the cloud. We don't have to forward it to every, you don't have to, did you get this? I'll forward it to you. It's just a shared thing. And you don't have to have Office, which is what the problem you and I had last year. Now, only one of us had the version we needed to be able to do that. That's eliminated. It's a very real shared Office desktop space in the cloud, and it's instant. I can literally see somebody editing a document as if it, like a go to my PC type thing. There's all kinds of demo videos you can watch from Microsoft on it. And again, you can get the beta. It's for nothing to try it. But it's a brilliant thing to incorporate all the good stuff you like about Office.
What I find funny is that Microsoft was attacking the cloud for years and said, well, no serious emailer wants to go on the cloud. And now they've kind of embraced it, right? They've realized that this is the weird place to go.
And for the Uber geeks, you were in this position before as an IT administrator.
Oh, I hate it.
Using Active Directory, you can incorporate this. So what you and I may need out of it right now to go up there, have your own sign-in ID and password. If you're a large corporation, you can still have, it's a new version of Active Directory. It's Active Directory on steroids. Works with Server 2008 and up, where the IT admin for that 1,000-employee company can still use Active Directory to manage current existing IDs and passwords. So you can have both. You can either have this simple new login or just hybrid over merge your existing Active Directory Exchange setup which is one of the big things would otherwise keep a large company from. Nobody wants to migrate. You know this very well.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to change over, especially people who have to pay for it. They don't want to pay for new systems and the training. They don't want the IT guys don't want to have to learn something all over again. So if you're already familiar with Active Directory and Exchange, this merges, they claim, very easy and seamlessly, and more secure is another benefit. So
And Google's
that's it.
response to this was an overhaul of Gmail. Have you received the overhaul?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. I'm not being completely sarcastic, but I'm having trouble figuring out what is really innovative about the new Gmail.
You saw it, right? It's gray and white.
Yes, it's
See, mine didn't change because I was set on a theme. I was set on like classic theme. So mine
and
didn't change over until I manually went to the themes. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, mine's not scanned, but yeah, it's themed as well, and so
calendar. And calendar changed as well. And calendar, I don't know what the hell they did to this thing. In my opinion, I think it's worse.
Yeah, and but it's one of the big things they're bragging is that the calendar has been, completely updated and made better. But that's one area that I haven't looked at much at all. But I've heard the calendar's a mess.
Not that great. Not that great at all. So I don't know.
Seen it yet.
I think Google's gotten a lot of praise over the last couple of years for being innovative, but I think with these changes, when you start tweaking and tinkering, a lot of people are going to start getting upset, and you're going to fall into the same category that all these other companies that have been around for 15, 20 years fall under.
And
whatever Microsoft does, no matter how good it is, there are people going to be out there, they're going to be pissed off because it's not exactly what it was.
Yeah, and we have a story, and I'll just segue into that as I don't want this to be a Microsoft love-in because we've talked about the phone you handled and you liked and all that, but they're celebrating the fact that they now have 25,000 apps for the phone, and that's a big milestone for them, but it's kind of like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, Windows Phone has 25,000 apps in the store, but you're talking. It's a fraction. The iPad just hit 100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
that's
a tablet.
iPad. We're not talking about the iPhone in general, but that's not a ton. It's good though. I mean, at one point, Apple iPhone had 25,000, and Google, so it's growth considering the Zune only had at one time like 7 apps total, 7. So it's however long it's been around, less than a year or about a year, 25,000 is not bad. And I don't know how many versions of calendars and tic-tac-toe you need, but people are always thinking of really cool apps and utilities, and so they're kind of getting there. But it's a small number, and just shows how late to the game they are with everything.
And it really could. Being late to the game could kind of destroy everything. But the good thing is they're Microsoft.
People say game changer. It could be a game over. It could be too little, too late. The hardware has been well received for the phones, but if you don't have the apps, you say this all the time. It doesn't affect me so much, but people love their apps, and if you don't have it, if you build it, they will come. If you don't have it, why migrate over? Why not just stick with your iPhone or your Android? So 25,000, no, it's all right. Just shows how late to the game they are.
I don't know. Interesting. Really, really interesting. I'm curious to see where it's going to go. Some more numbers. Twitter stat came out that users send 200 million tweets a day.
Yeah. 200
million tweets of absolute nothing. Are being sent.
Exactly. My cat just puked on the floor. That's my tweet.
Yeah.
And they're also under investigation from the SEC, but that's another story.
Another big news, Justin Timberlake takes a major stake in MySpace. MySpace is being sold for $30 million. If people remember, $580 million it was sold to News Corp, and it was appraised. It was valued at $1.5 billion at one point.
Golly,
It sold
isn't that
for a
something?
whopping $330 million. I'm sorry, I should say $30 million. And a California-based group is now planning on purchasing it.
Yep, Specific Media. Yeah, $580 million by News Corp in just 6 years ago.
Yeah, not too
So,
long ago.
We talk about these stories all the time with companies that you think will never, falter, like AOL at one time and Yahoo, the giants, and Google can never, falter or, lose. But,
They just
MySpace,
didn't. They just didn't. You know what I think the problem with MySpace was? It was too much. It gave too much freedom to the user, and it became too, I don't know, cluttered.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want to go to somebody's MySpace page because, especially if personalities, bless them, friends that have too much time on their hands and have that GeoCity mentality where they're just gonna butterfly and rainbow and sparkly the thing up, and music playing when you hit it, just obnoxious. So Timberlake is getting it, and
I guess he wants to be that role that he played in the movie.
yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, in Social Network in the movie, he played Sean Parker, the founder of Napster, who pretty much helped create Facebook, let it thrive. And but his design with it, what Justin's interest, he wants to slimline it down and make it what it is good for, which is music.
Yeah.
He wants to make it. His idea is to make it a better hub where artists and fans can interact with each other. It's going to be like a Facebook music place, and it's still a really good place to if you're a band or want to share music. It's a good place to do that. You can put all your tracks up there and your calendars of your tour dates, amateur or pro bands. So he wants to do that, but then put more Facebook stuff into it to where you can hit up Justin in the middle of the day and say, hey, what you having for lunch, and
he'll respond.
The artist will interact with the user and the fan.
I'm sure he will be the one.
That's his idea. So
the plans for MySpace and the future of MySpace will be announced later on this summer at a press conference, unveiling everything they want. I don't know. It's like Friendster and all these services that were out years ago. Yeah. The time has passed and they're just sitting there now. Is anybody using Friendster?
I don't know anybody anymore, or FriendFeed. I don't know anybody using any of those anymore.
Well, FriendFree got bought by Facebook.
Was it shut down completely?
Or Google. I think it might have been Google. Friendster is still around. Oh, Friendster is living the game. I don't know. Maybe they've changed. No. It's still around. I guess it has games. It changed the aspect of what it is. I don't know.
The MySpace thing, you can tell. The hint to it is, if you look at the current logos for it, MySpace, it's the little heads with headphones on. So it's all music now. It's all about the music. So that's the direction they're going to continue going on. And they're going to take away what we just talked about, the annoying, making it obnoxious ability. I think they're going to strip away some of that because it was such a turnoff for users.
Tom, it is time for our picks of the week.
Pick of the week.
Why don't you go first?
I shall. Let me pull back up the name because I had this one yesterday. I was looking at it just for you. You had some recent issues with Mozilla Firefox.
Yes.
Where it was doing kind of memory dumping. It was just like an open hole.
I went to Firefox 5 and it was okay for a while, and I'm noticing that it's a little bit of a hog as well.
Is it? Okay, yeah. I had that problem as soon as I switched last week. You had a good launch with it, and mine immediately went downhill. So, so what I have here, that is a common problem. For whatever reason, there'll be open holes, not just in browsers, but software in general can have kind of a retainment issue, and it leaks memory to the point that it'll crash, not just the browser, but sometimes the entire machine. So what I have here is a product. It's a Firefox add-on available from Mozilla at addons.mozilla, and it's called Memory Restart. So Memory Restart, currently on version 1.4. It's created by Team Extension. What it does is the add-on's on there. simply if it puts a button in your toolbar of Firefox, and if that problem starts to happen, if you have some kind of crazy memory escalation or some explosion of performance, you can hit that button, and it'll not only stop it but restart Firefox and correct the problem. So it's kind of like a reset button.
Yeah.
And it's convenient in that it's through Mozilla. This isn't some separate software that you have to run and find quickly, before too much damage, before your computer's shut off. It's just built right into the toolbar. I'm not a big add-on plugin fan, but this is one, especially with your recent anecdote about having a problem. This is one add-on. It's probably going to be very popular. But Memory Restart, again,
Excellent.
available straight from Mozilla.org. Just look for Memory Restart.
That's actually a really good pick. My pick is it's actually a pick in general. Now, with Android, the beauty of it is that it's open source, and you could do a lot more with it, and you could get certain apps that you can't, and that's also been the downfall of it because there's so much clutter on this thing. I've discovered I never wanted to root this thing, but I ended up rooting the phone, and I rooted the phone with a program called Super User, and with Super User, they made it so easy to root it. Let me just find the website here. So pretty much, if somebody doesn't know what rooting is, it's unlocking the phone. You're able to just unlock the phone, and you're able to do more things with it. Like when you unlock the phone, you can put your own custom software on there. So that's what I did. I downloaded a unlocking software. There's a bunch of them out there, and I unlocked the phone from my Windows machine. It took about 30 seconds. Then I found a ROM, and I put the ROM on. Now, what I used to find the ROM, the program is called ROM Manager. It's in the Android marketplace, and they have a premium version, and they have a free version. With the premium version, you could actually download certain new applications. You could install the ROM from there. You could flash the recovery. You could back up with this software. It's a great piece of software if you're looking to find a new ROM and you're looking to just change the phone up a little bit. I had to do this, especially with older Android phones, and the support stops with the updates. You kind of need to rely on something like this to be able to upgrade the phone and to do more with it. The purpose of my upgrade was that I was having problems with 2.2, and I had to go to Gingerbread to eliminate this issue, and this was the only way of doing it. So my pick is ROM Manager, and if you root your phone, and you could go and find examples on how to do this. I can't, it's a whole process, and I don't want to be responsible if you brick the phone. But you have to download this program called ROM Manager, and it gives you a list of all the ROMs that are out there that you can use to download. And it says, this one is not stable. This is the most popular. This is the most stable build of that. It's a very, very powerful tool to have, when you're upgrading your phone. And it's not just for the phones. You can do the tablets. People are using, I think it's Cyanogen mod on the Nook now.
Oh, wow.
So you're able to unlock and root the Nook and put Gingerbread on there, which is awesome. And you could do it to most of those devices, those cheap Android devices that are coming out. You could do it with that, which is really cool because you're paying $150, you're getting some crappy device, and you're able to upgrade to the latest version. So really, really cool. My pick is ROM Manager in the Android marketplace. And that's my pick of the week. Tom, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. You could download all our shows pretty much and the picks of the week from our website, guysfromqueens.com. Also go to gfqlive.tv. We'll be back next week. We're going to be doing a beer tasting right after this. So stay tuned. I'm going to be getting drunk with Jessica and pretty much yelling about Coco and how stupid he is. So stay tuned. It should be fun. And we'll see you all next week. Good night, everybody.